I'll be muting while I'm talking. Hold on. All right. So we're live. We're ready. We're gonna do this thing. So, it is Friday. It's roughly 9 a.m. We tried. And it's Extra Life weekend. I say Extra Life weekend because this weekend we are raising money and awareness for Extra Life charity. But in previous years, we have done it as one big 25-hour marathon, sometimes with smaller games leading up to it, sometimes with multiple marathons in the same year. But this year has just been very, very busy, very tiring. And for me personally, it ain't over yet. I have a lot of projects in other parts of my life that are requiring attention. I just can't do it this year. Can't do the full 25-hour marathon. I'm a little disappointed in myself because it is something that I look forward to every year, and it's definitely a spectacle of human physical and mental endurance to go 25 hours straight playing Dungeons and Dragons. But our community, our Discord community, super duper cool, and everybody kind of got together and decided that we would run a whole weekend of games and panels and events. And we're just gonna Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're just gonna be doing all sorts of stuff to try and bring attention to Extra Life and raise money for Extra Life. So, since we normally do our vodcast on Fridays, this will be the fifth one, technically the sixth one if you count the accidental one that started us doing this podcast. Oh, you're being hunted, dude. There's two of them. They're closing in on you. They're right behind you. All right. Yeah. So yeah, like this is we normally we try to do the vodcast in the evenings, but we're gonna do it now to kick off Extra Life weekend. So I guess we should talk about what is Extra Life and what are we doing. So if you don't know, people out there, Extra Life is a charity that raises money for children's hospitals, and it has been going for many years, and it has raised, I believe, over $100 million for charity since it first started. And every year it gets bigger and bigger, and every year companies kind of jump on board for it. And the premise was instead of a marathon where people just walk the track of your local high school all night, or a marathon where they race through the city, what about a marathon for video gaming? Like just playing video games for as long as humanly possible, uh, having fun, with people watching you play video games, and sort of like everybody contributing and just doing good, putting good back into the world. This sort of like Child's Play is a gamer-centric charity, and I was turned on to this idea by a gaming friend of mine who was telling me all about it, and I was just like fascinated by it. I was like, you play video games for 24 hours and people donate money? He's like, yeah, it's like, like when you do a Relay for Life and you walk the track all night, and people donate for every mile you walk, and so you try to walk as many miles in one night as you can. And I had done something like that before. I like doing charity work. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's really boring. He's like, yeah, so imagine if you weren't walking in circles and you were just playing video games. And I said, oh, that's amazing. So at the time, I worked for Cool Mini or Not as a convention person, like, running events and conventions and stuff. I was very heavy into the board gaming scene. Still played a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, but it was primarily board games at that time in my life. And so I just did a casual one with some friends and my kid and my kid's best friend, and we just spent the whole 24 hours playing board games, playing video games, did a little D&D one-shot, just hanging out and having a good time. And we didn't raise a lot of money, and it was, maybe a couple $100, but we had a good time, and it was pretty fun. We tried again the next year, and we raised more money that following year, but we also all got the flu, because my friend Steven, he came over and spent 24 hours giving us the flu. And so, obviously, you're up for 25 hours, and your immune system is fighting, to stay alive, and then you introduce the flu into the equation, and I was like, well, that sucked. So, after that, I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I was talking to my friend Wes, and we were running a West Marches game at the time, Paradise Vale. And we were like, what if we did Extra Life with Paradise Vale? What if we ran one Dungeons & Dragons adventure for 25 hours? Like one adventure for 25 hours. And he was like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And so we ended up running the second edition super adventure, The Gates of Firestorm Peak. And this was actually the first and possibly only official 2.5e adventure. So there was an edition of D&D called Skills and Powers, which was like the 2.5 edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And I love modding my games, so I couldn't resist Skills and Powers modding second edition. So we played through this Gates of Firestorm Peak, and it's a huge dungeon, just a massive Underdark, Dwegar Fortress, and Far Realms infused caverns. And so we played through this, and let's see, that was 2017, the Gates of Firestorm Chasm. And so I updated the entire 2.5 adventure to 5e, and we played through it, and that's where we came up with the idea that, like, okay, so we're playing through this, and people are going to donate, money because they're going to see people suffering, but how can we get people to donate even more money? And that's when we were like, loot boxes. So we allowed people to donate money to get loot boxes, and all of the loot boxes did stupid stuff. Some of it was like, good morning, K-Nex. There was, game-breaking stuff in those boxes. Just random, wild, crazy things that happened. By the end of the adventure, the people that had started at level 1, I think were finishing at like level 8 or 9. They all had god-level powers and abilities. And the worst part is that we set those characters loose back into our West Marches game. Which was actually kind of problematic because, a West Marches game, you're kind of looking for some balance and some slow growth, and we had these 5 heroes come out of this adventure just absolutely ripped AF and ready to take down another god. It was pretty crazy. But we had a good time, and it was wild and crazy and zany, and it spawned many memes in our small little D&D group and community that some of us still kind of remember to this day. The following year, and we also made a lot of money. Somebody donated, I think, $300 to have 5 ancient dragons, one of each color, attack the players. That might have been the following year, but we made a lot of money off of this whole donate money to change the adventure mechanic. It was huge. So then in 2018, we did it again, but we had so many people interested that we actually ran 2 groups. And in that one, it was we did the adventure Madness at Garmer Abbey. So we converted the 4th edition adventure Madness at Garmer Abbey into a 5th edition adventure. This was a full box campaign, so there's no way they could do the whole thing in 25 hours. So what we did is we split the whole dungeon into zones. And so my group took half the zones, and then Wes's group took the other half of the zones. Wes's group played online, my group played in person. And we actually got to play with like a really cool TV turned sideways for digital maps and all that with like painted miniatures. It was very, very posh, very, very premium experience. We made a lot of money that year. Obviously, we had 2 marathons going at the same time. It was building momentum from the previous year. Couldn't get any better than that, but it could. So in 2019, I was like, all right, I need something that's like a little less me having to convert a story and a little more you're just in this massive dungeon, anything can happen. And that's when I thought about one of my favorite earliest adventures from first edition D&D, Keep on the Borderlands. And so I took my favorite version of that, which was the Hackmaster version, and Little Keep on the Borderlands, and I started to build that up into essentially an adventure hub. It was very fortuitous because at that time, I believe the artist's name is Zap. Zap released the 1 million square foot dungeon. And so I took the 1 million square foot dungeon, I doubled it in size, 2 million square feet, and then we filled that dungeon up. I filled it up with stuff. Every foot of that dungeon had stuff in it, and I ran that adventure for a group, and it was crazy. The impulse control was completely destroyed in the players and the audience. The ability to spawn craziness into the dungeon, add custom monsters, open up these loot boxes that I have no idea you were going to get. It was bananas. And we made a very nice chunk of change. At that point, people were starting to hear about this 25-hour marathon, about these Caves of Chaos. They really wanted to take part in it. We came back in 2020, and I believe it was like our strongest year. Maybe it was 2020. I think we made like almost $8,000 in 2020. And I think that was the year that I ran 2 different marathons because we had so much interest that, that might have been the year I ran 2.
That was the year I joined.
Oh, okay, that was your year. So 2019 is the year I ran 2. Yeah, because Wes had to drop the last minute because of family emergency, and we already had people donated and signed up. So I ended up running one weekend. I ran it, a 25-hour marathon, and then the next weekend I ran another 25-hour marathon. So it's no wonder that we managed to make the most money ever that year because we literally had 2 full 25-hour marathons like back to back. So the momentum for the first one just rolled into the second one. It was crazy. 2020. Is when you and Will kind of came in and helped me populate that dungeon, and I think that's also the year of Master Chief. Was it? Yeah, Master Chief was there. Oh, okay, so that was a really good one, and we made a ton of money that year as well. And then last year was hard. Last year I bought a house and had to move into the house at the same time as ExtraLife. So I was actually in this room I'm in right now with like barely any furniture. The internet had just been turned on. We're recapping the ExtraLife history. And we played through, but man, I was so tired by the end. It was a lot. And then I still had to finish moving into the house. So that kind of broke me on like the 25-hour marathon. I was like, I don't even know if I could do this next year. And I was dreading it. So we roll into this year, and again, we've got this 72-hour marathon, and we've got a lot going on. Right now, we're kicking off this thing with our Vodcast. We got Jackbox Games later today with Red. We got 2 games tonight, Doomed World, Space is a Cold Place with DM Will, and 5e Worlds of Warcraft Tour of Vanilla Dungeons Part 1 with DM Conti. Tomorrow, morning, we got Extra Life fueled Red Hand of Doom. So it's very important that I don't make the mistakes of the past and allow too much powerful stuff to come in via donations that it completely warps the campaign. So we want to make sure that it stays relatively equitable and balanced, even though we're going to allow 1 day of cheating. So that's something we're going to work on today together on the stream. At 2 o'clock, the Worlds of Warcraft Dungeon Tour continues. I believe there is going to be a 24-hour, divided into two 12-hour blocks, puzzle dungeon with DM Lex. And then tomorrow night, we're all going to be, I don't know what it's called, guest stars. We're going to be playing a game with Kobold Press on their channel, running one of their adventures that I was able to remake the map for and set up a beautiful foundry scene. And Red's going to have an amazing overlay, and we're all going to work together to have this really nice sort of visual podcast production of one of their favorite published adventures upon the Icebound Terrace. And hopefully the exposure from being on Kobold Press's channel as well as Red's and my own will really help kind of generate some interest and buzz for what we're doing this weekend. Sunday, planning on doing a time travel panel in the morning. I haven't penciled in any other official panels of stuff that we're going to just stream and talk about, but we're going to try to fill every hour of every day this weekend with things to do, minus, times to sleep and stuff. And then Sunday morning, Oberon's Labyrinth with DM Lex continues. At noon, I'm running Divinity Heart of the Eternals, a 4E, 5E mashup. I am so proud of the work I did on this adventure. The Foundry work, I pushed myself to new skill levels, I think, with some of the stuff I set up in this Foundry, but also just the systems themselves. It's the most beautiful fusion of like 4th edition and 5th edition I've ever seen. Dare I say, it's at, or maybe beyond, the level of Giphy Glyphs 4th edition, 5th edition mashup. I love it. I'm so excited to play it and see it played out, and I can't wait for feedback from the players. I feel like there's mechanics that we're going to be using on Sunday that we might immediately want to go to the world patch document for our server and change things, because that's how cool some of the stuff is. And then finally, we're going to finish up the 3-day weekend with Tomb of Decimation, a kobold story, wherein the goal is to create a dungeon so horrible and so terrible that we kill as many kobolds as possible. And that will be streamed by DM Red, so it's going to look extra nice. We're going to have a kobold death kill counter on the screen. See how high we can get that counter. So, whoo! Sorry to prattle on about all that stuff, but it's been years and years of Extra Life, and it's happening again. So, do you have anything to add? Any questions to expand on this stuff, Dom?
No, I mean, you probably pretty much went through it. I know when I joined in 2020, it was like, oh man, this is pretty cool, and being able to help out with prepping out that Master Chief zone for at least one room, and doing it again for each year. I do kind of miss having the 25 hour and just seeing how wacky stuff gets, but we'll see. After this weekend and seeing how wacky stuff gets in everybody's game, maybe, who knows? Maybe Case of Chaos is gonna get dethroned.
Maybe. I'm gonna say that fun is important, but when it comes to charity, I think the numbers are gonna tell the real story. So
yeah,
if we can make a comparable amount for Extra Life, and I'm gonna count our team, not just my stuff, but the whole team. If the team can make a decent chunk of change this weekend, I feel like this might be the new model we use going forward. But I can tell you right now, my heart is broken to be here the first weekend of November and not be preparing to destroy my human body and mind with 25 hours of Dungeons & Dragons. It does feel very weird not to have that marathon happening after so many years of doing it.
Think about it, with the amount of prep that had.
Yeah, I definitely sank way too much time into the Divinity tabletop project. I guess I'll shoot my shot when it's all over with. I'll send the VOD, the adventure, the notes. I'll send it all off to Larian and be like, "Yo, everything's full circle. D&D, D&D inspired Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate inspired you guys to make Divinity Original Sin. You inspired Dungeons & Dragons to hire you to make Baldur's Gate 3. You did such an amazing job with Baldur's Gate 3 that they're releasing a supplement to allow your changes into the actual game. And then I took all the shit that all y'all did and made it into this other tabletop game." So, yeah, I don't know. Very excited. Cookman 3000, your internal organs are thanking you. They are. I'll be honest. I need my day job. Being a quote unquote professional dungeon master, it pays no bills. It does not pay the bills. And it provides no medical benefits. My day job.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hayden just reminded me about the monsters. So yeah, we don't have. We're gonna have to make sure for some of these games we do a guest monster.
Oh, that's true. So let's look at the page. Hold on. We looked at all the things from last year. All right. I guess I'll zoom in just a little bit. There we go. That seems good. All right, so this is my ExtraLife page, but everything that's on my ExtraLife page applies to everyone on our team's page. So if people donate $20 or more to anyone on our team's page, they will unlock all the prizes in the prize bundle. They will be entered into the raffle to win bigger and cooler prizes. So that's universal across our whole team. Now, as far as incentives, everybody is, in a way, responsible for their own incentives. I don't have any incentives here. Last year, we had incentives like crazy. Purchase your own monster. We had some stuff. If enough people bought that incentive, it would unlock an actual Tarrasque, which would then, it was a CR30 Tarrasque, excuse me, not an actual Tarrasque. A CR30 Glyph Tarrasque was spawned into the adventure, which caused a lot of trauma. Not as much trauma as Terry's fish shark. No, cat shark.
Yeah, cat shark.
Cat shark. Cat shark still. I think Volpe used to wake in the middle of the night having nightmares about cat shark afterwards. It was such a terrifying encounter. But yeah. We don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So I guess that should be something that people could spawn in monsters. The issue here is with Caves of Chaos, nothing mattered. So we could have like the craziest, dumbest, most ridiculous things, and it was all good. And we had something called the power-up menu. So let me go and grab that power-up menu from last year. We could take a look at it.
I think the only out of the games that are being played, the one that's the most, I think, malleable and messiable is probably the Cobalt.
For real.
Cobalt story. Yeah.
So normally, this is what people can use their donations for, and players can use the donations to help their own characters, and the audience can donate to either help the monsters or help the characters. And we even had this bank where we would track how much money had been donated, where it got donated from, what it was being spent on. Real fancy stuff. And it was complicated enough that we had actual bankers on staff to help manage these incoming donations and whatnot. So this year we have to again be have a little bit more care and a little bit more restraint on some of the stuff. But to give you an example of what we were giving out last year, every $2 that you donated, you could roll a D6 exploding D6 and add it to the result of your D20. Conversely, you could donate $2 to get an exploding D6 cutting words. So this would actually cause bidding wars on important rolls during the adventure, of which we had special calculators to help manage where those rolls were at. Sometimes rolls would get into the hundreds. I make an attack roll. Oh, I got 127. And so things would get particularly crazy with people donating to cutting words the roll or donating to buff the roll. It was like everyone was a James Bond villain at a casino. Like they're just dropping fat stacks of cash on dice rolls to win every dice roll or win those important dice rolls. And then, as sort of a weird wild card, for $13, you could cause any die in play to be re-rolled. And if a die got re-rolled, any modifiers to that die got erased. So we had rolls that people were spending like $100+ on, and then somebody would re-roll it and set the whole thing back to 0. And once that die is re-rolled, it can't be re-rolled again. There was some like metagame strategy to like how best to donate to affect rolls that developed over the years. It was crazy. Yeah. And there's also for $7 they could Mulligan's Island. They could reroll one die that they have rolled. And then $13 you can reroll any die in play. For $7 they got a loot box, and the loot boxes last year were all themed to Smash Brothers. So we developed 100. Oh my god, just thinking about it, I feel trauma. We had 100 custom magic items, and we built all of them in Foundry. All of them, yeah. It was nuts. And I don't even know if we got through all 100. I think we saw like 30 something left at the end, or 20 something left. What are you going to do with all these magical items if you only got 3 attunement slots? Well, for $25, your character could increase the maximum number of attunement slots that they had, but each time they did, it cost more and more money. You see the trap there, right? It'd be like if Genshin Impact allowed you to play with more than 4 characters, but you had to give them increasingly larger amounts of money to unlock more character slots. Or maybe like, I don't know, a popular MMO that charges you for additional character slots. Whew, there's nothing like that out there, I hope. Anyways, if a character died, and characters were going to die a lot because, the dungeon was completely broken and unfair, and monsters could spend donation money to successfully hit you, and there was like auto kill attacks and all sorts of other stuff. For $25, you could try to revive somebody. I say try because this wasn't a resurrection. This was just a revivify. For $25, people could unlock easy mode. This allowed them to start the game with 1 extra feat, 1 extra skill proficiency, 1 extra language, and a bag of holding. And then for anybody that had played in a previous year, they could purchase the Returning Champions donation reward, which was they grab another bag of holding. Not that anybody ever tracks what's in their bag of holding. And then they could choose 1 element that they are immune to that type of damage. Which is kind of dumb, because if you're a returning character to Caves of Chaos, you're already like a literal demigod from having survived previous Caves of Chaos. A certain Cadenex brought a certain character back for a return to the caves, and just literally went around cloud omni-slashing everybody because of the previous year he had collected the 7 swords of the 7 sword saints, and combined them all together into like the greatest weapon of all time. That's the kind of ridiculous bullshit that we were dealing with in the Caves of Chaos. Yeah. So while fun, while crazy, while zany, it was also so enticing to donate and take part in this stuff, because it was wild. It was absolutely bananas, the stuff that you could do and see happening in the game. So without that lure, without that unlimited potential of craziness, how do we make these games enticing this year? That's the big question, and that's what we're gonna answer today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and start up a Google Doc, and
which is the first game that's gonna be played?
I believe it's Warcraft and Deep Space.
Okay, and then
let me make a 2022 ExtraLife power-ups menu, and then I'll send it over to you so we could both type away on this here document.
All right.
All right. I know he's not part of the domain Google. It's okay. You can trust him. All right. All right. So I'm going to bring this over, and then in this here side window that nobody can see, I will have last year's menu to kind of guide me. And let's see. I think Conti has his stuff listed on his all money goes to ExtraLife charity. Okay, so here's Conti's cheat menu for Warcraft. All right, so Warcraft 5e. The cheat menu is Inspiring Presence. 1d6 to a character, NPC, monster of your choice to increase or decrease an attack check or saving throw. So he just rolled cutting words and inspiration into one thing. So Inspiring Presence. He's also got extremely fair prices. I was gouging people last year. I was charging like $2 a roll, and then in the final 8 hours of the night, all prices increased, I believe, by a certain amount. Yeah. Trying to see where that is. Death Carries Consequence, Rounding Down, Flanking, Player Contact. Oh, final hours. Inspiration and Cutting Words are tripled in the final 8 hours of the marathon. So, yeah. So, alright, what else does 5e Warcraft have? Sylvanas says enough. You can reroll one die you have rolled. Gashapon Spin. Let's see what World of Warcraft themed magical items you can get. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah, Basil actually had me set a hard limit on how much I was going to donate tonight in Conti's game. So I'm at a hard stop $100. I'm not a big gambling man. I don't really like gambling. But for charity, I will definitely be cracking open some Gashapon boxes and cheating my dice rolls, because this ain't Wednesday night. I don't got to live with my bad dice rolls anymore. I can buy my way to good dice rolls. So, yeah. Anyways. 7 is Elisande's. I don't know all the Warcraft people. Elisande's Time Stop. You gain 3 charges to force any reroll on a D10. $7 for 3 rerolls. Oh my god, this is going to be bananas. We're going to be rolling a lot of dice. $13 gets you a battle res. Character, NPC, monster gets back up at 1/4 of its health. Call out the correct res spell for blankety blank blank. You'll just have to find out. Okay. And then for $21, let it be finished once per encounter. Once per side, the spirit of Varrock Sarfang is with you, guaranteeing that you land a critical hit. Well, shit, I would have played another rogue if I had known about that one. Oh well. So yeah, I think those are all pretty good. I think they're all pretty. He definitely made them thematic to Warcraft. I could definitely see players wanting to cash in on that stuff, and I could see audience, being pretty excited about it. It's going to be hard for me as a player not to just want to give my donations to the monsters, though. This is my first year, I think, as a player in ExtraLife, so that's kind of exciting. All right, and then Will said that for his game, which is, let's see, Doomed Worlds. All right, in Doomed World, space is a cold place. There we go. Wow, that's very big. Yeah. All right. So Doomed World, space is a cold place. His cheat menu, he just said that he is going with cutting words, inspiration, and mulligans, I believe he said.
Okay.
Yeah. I double check. Hold on. I can check on my phone. If I check on Discord, it'll mess up our camera layout. So, let's see. All right.
You check on your phone?
Yeah, I'm checking right now. Let's see. D6 inspos, cutting words, and single rerolls. Okay, so yeah. So that's it. It's a very limited menu, but it ain't bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if the audience could pay for rerolls. Maybe he should put like the $13 reroll in there too, just to see if anybody's down for it.
Yeah.
I think this is a great example of changing the cheat menu to support the game that you are running. Because he's running a horror game, he can't really have everybody not afraid of dying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for his horror game, how scary could it really be if everybody knows, oh, no matter what happens, I can just donate money and be okay.
I
Yeah.
guess the thing here is you don't like to make it really scary is having the audience being able to donate stuff to do scary things inside the.
Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna put suggestions here.
Yeah.
All right. Suggestions for Will. Wow. If only suggestions was actually spelled like that, it'd be a hilarious word. Okay, so suggestions for Will. We're thinking what? Audience donates to dot 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 dot. What would make it scary for you as a player if you knew people could do whatever they want? I am open to any all suggestions for what the monsters could do from Will in chat.
If the audience can donate to make it so that the next monster attack is an automatic crit.
Oh wow. Okay. So we'll call this one. This one is gonna hurt. Okay. The next monster attack is an automatic critical hit. Yikes. Man, I'm going to have to be secretly watching this during the Warcraft game so that I could help automatically crit people. That's good stuff. How much do you think? How much would you set that at? Potentially ending a player's life.
That sounds like a 7 or a 13.
7 or 13. Okay, man, only $7 to crit somebody automatically. You know what? I might be using. I might need to set it. Yeah,
you still have to hit.
That's true, and with the cutting words and everything else.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Dom. I see what you're doing. Now they'll be motivated to spend money to stop the hit, and they'll be motivated to spend money to get the hit because it's. Oh, okay. Cookman says this adventure is only level 5. Well, sucks for those guys. All right. Let's see. Cadenex says, give monsters legendary actions. That sounds good.
That's a good one, yeah.
Alright, so how much to give a monster a legendary action? $5? $5 to get a legendary action? Could do a lot with a legendary action.
I mean, if it's $5, I would say maybe it's limited per creature. So like that creature can get one legendary action for $5.
Yeah, you get one time. It doesn't keep refilling. Like you're just literally saying, nope, it gets a legendary action one time. One time legendary action.
I thought like it gets legendary actions for this encounter.
So no. Like you just say, hey, that monster, give it a legendary action, and now it has a legendary action it can spend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think 5? I think 5 is too much for that to get one extra attack. I mean, it can make a big difference for a monster to get to go one more time.
Yeah, I mean,
and why stop at legend though? I feel like if I'm donating to this, I want a Paragon action. You know what I'm saying? I just want a Paragon action.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was like, okay, they get one Paragon action, I think maybe like I think $5 is good if they're just gonna get one, and then it's after they use it, it's gone.
Okay. So
now they become a Paragon monster or elite monster. They get promoted.
Oh shit! Do you think promotion should be one? Oh shit! All right, promotion.
And it could be kind of like his whole thing is kind of themed around like Dead Space. It could be like, you know, moments where like you shoot like a Dead Space monster and the limb comes off, but all of a sudden it grows back bigger.
Oh dang! Okay, so promotion. A non-legendary / Paragon monster becomes Paragon.
And like it could be like,
oh my god,
because they become Paragon doesn't change like all their stats or anything. Like they're still the same thing. They just can act really fast now, so it gets scary.
Okay, so they don't actually get a boost in stats; they just get a boost to action economy.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a little boost. We can't.
Maybe some temp HP.
Maybe okay. What if there's like a cub status called promoted, and when Will turns on that cub status, they get, I don't know, like a +2 across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. Monster gains a +2 to all saves, all attacks, all damages, and now has a Paragon action economy. It also gains How many players are in this game? 6?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
so...
5. 5. I think he's a 5.
Is it 5? Okay, so we'll just give him 10 temp HP. Because that's like 2 per character. Doesn't seem too bad. Does it at least restore any HP that they lost? It'd only be a single occurrence, right?
Yeah.
It should, what, like heal them back up?
No, I think you would want, like, if you're gonna spend the money on this, pick a monster that hasn't been hit yet, or like.
Yeah, that's true.
Like like you rolled, like during initiative is being rolled, you're like, oh, I'm a audience member. Well, that monster, I like that. Like this monster's like token mode name is like superhuman.
Oh
Right,
no.
we're gonna promote him.
Will says healing is nerfed in this game. Only necromancy magic works. Oh well, and they don't have a way to come back to life. So maybe we shouldn't make it too crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's change it this way. They'll get a +1 to all saves, all attacks, all damage, and now they have Paragon action. And yeah, then they gain 10 temp HP, and that is it. But that's still really strong.
So I think get rid of the temp HP, and
okay.
It's still a normal monster. They just have a little bit more action economy.
All right, a little bit of a boost, a little bit of action economy. Keep in mind that we don't want to mess up the timing on Will's adventure too much, right? Because this isn't Caves of Chaos where nothing matters. Will's trying to tell a story in 7 hours or less. So we want to make sure that every time you introduce a monster with lots of hit points or lots of action economy, it does slow everything down.
I think instead of like a full-on like Paragon, less. I think it should be like bumped up to an elite.
Elite. All right, sounds good.
Paragon action that you can use that refills every round.
All right, monster gets +1 all saves, blah blah blah, and has a single extra Paragon action per round. Okay, that's a little bit more manageable.
Is Will in the chat?
No, yeah, Will's in the chat.
What do you think about this, Will?
Oh, Cadenex is another amazing. Cadenex lives to propagate evil. He says $5. You give a monster a sad backstory.
Oh man,
is Dom available to write these backstories like he does every Wednesday in Monster Hunter? The Royal Ludroth has his wallet on him. It's full of pictures of him and his children at the water park. It's like, oh, thanks, Dom. Feeling great.
Oh, man, the
all right, let's see. So, how much to become elite? That feels like it'd be more expensive than Legend. Legend, you're just getting 1 Paragon action.
Yeah.
$10 to make a legendary Paragon monster become elite. I feel like for $10, I'd want them to have a little bit extra hit points, though. You know what I'm saying? A little bit extra hit points. We could lower the amount to give a monster a Paragon action.
Maybe make it 7 then.
7 for promotion.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes Paragon action even worse then. Because if you spend $2 more, I mean that's getting more money into.
Well, that's true. That's true. You're doing that thing they do with food, right? Like, you want to spend $3 on a 16-ounce drink, baby. You might as well spend $4 on this 1-gallon size drink. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. All right. I like it. All right. And then it was suggested $5 to add a sad story to a monster. Okay. $5. Add a sad story to a monster. Sad backstory.
If you need help setting up this cub thing and everything like that, let me know. I'll help out.
Okay.
I will.
Last 2 hours, basically, if the game is bogged down a bit. What if the last 3 hours a story mode difficulty boon can be unlocked for XX dollars? There's a 50% chance per non-boss monster that they are a minion. Oh, that's kind of neat. What, like demoted, like demotion? Yeah. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, all right. What do you say, Will? Demotion, is that allowed for people that want to help out? Would a demotion cancel a promotion? That's the big question.
I mean, that could be a. I mean, yeah, I would say why not have it? And if you want to have him be promoted again, come back and spend the money again, and just overrides the last time. We have a bidding war.
So we should say that only the audience can pay for demotion, though, because we don't want the audience to spend the money and then immediately get canceled out by the players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cancels the demotion status. Or it's not cancels. Zero
Overrides.
overrides. Oh damn.
Yeah. So if you get demoted, then you go back to you get demoted. If you get promotion, then you just become a promoted.
Okay. So does demotion override promotion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of them override each other. It's just whichever one's the last one they got.
Nice. All right. So here we go. Becomes a minion. All right. This monster only has 1 hit point, but it also...
Yeah, maybe after 5 hours. Okay, yeah, Will said the sword mode thing seems good, but after like 5 hours.
All right. Let's see. This minion only has 1 hit point, but also gains... what's the one that's better than evasion? It's like 1 step above evasion that super monks get, and it's the one that like any saving throw for half, not just reflex saves for half. Avoidance? Is that what it is?
Avoidance, I think, yeah. Something like that.
Let's see, 5e avoidance. I'm so used to having Foundry open, that's immediately where I went to it. If a creature is subjected to an effect that lets it make a saving throw for only... Yep, it's avoidance. Alright. Let's see. And then here's the stipulations. Only available to audience members. Only available during the final...
If they find a friendly
2
NPC,
hours or 3 hours?
He said 5. He said after 5.
Okay, so 2 hours. Final...
Yeah.
2 hours of the game. And then finally, cannot affect mid-boss or boss monsters. Alright. That seems good. In the stipulations section.
For I lost my train of thought.
Price the demotion higher, and it brings the monster over as is. These are wise limitations. I would demote everyone between us and the Ruins of Rest. Nice.
Oh. What I was gonna say is, if they find like I don't know Will's adventure. So if they find like a friendly NPC, can they promote their NPC? Promote their NPC.
Oh, how long would they stay promoted? Just for that one battle?
That encounter, yeah.
Okay, that's up to Will. If
Will, is that something?
Hey, what's up, Lord Conti? I think this is enough stuff to expand on it, and I'll invite Will to this as well, so that they can make decisions about it. I'm gonna invite them off screen so nobody can like get his email and send him love letters and stuff. I know that's something he deals with a lot.
Oh look, ExtraLife is in chat.
Oh, sweet. Let's see, and send. All right, so back over here to plotting and planning. Good morning, CRASHDOM. Wanted to quick say we're excited to stop by throughout your stream. Oh, sweet. All right, yeah, we're gonna be streaming like all weekend. No 25-hour marathon this year, but lots of long one-shots throughout the weekend. So yeah, definitely keep checking back. We're gonna try our best for you this year, Senpai. All right. That covers Doomed World. Space is a cold place. What about donations during Red's Jackbox game? Can they influence the Jackbox game?
Hard. That's hard to do that because it's a lot of systems that we can really control. But
true. But you can control the people themselves. Nah.
Audience members, if you join as an audience member and are watching, you already can kind of do stuff like that by like voting more CDs. So I don't know. I don't know how we would work that out, especially with the delay. Off the screen.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Then that brings us to I don't know. I haven't talked to Dot about this about the idea of like donations affecting the game for that. I brought up that we normally do it, but we didn't like discuss whether or not we would do it for the Cobalt Press one shot. Honestly, it sounds like it's going to be super organized and pretty streamlined. So other than occasional breaks to promote Extra Life, I don't know if we're going to have time to like throw those kind of monkey wrenches in there. Plus,
Yeah.
she's being super cool and giving me a chance to play alongside you guys as, my lovable peanut. So I feel like, we'll probably just play the adventure, draw attention to it, maybe not stress it too much. So, but I could float it past them, the idea of like cutting words maybe, and or the other thing, but
Mhm.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so that brings us to day 2.
Yeah, actually, you know what might work for that is
Mhm.
just you can donate for a luck point.
Oh, donate for Lucky. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Upon the Icebound Terrace. So
And like it's kind of like how we did Factspiration, but you can donate to Extra Life to give somebody Factspiration or give the group Factspiration.
fair enough. So upon the Icebound Terrace.
Factspiration.
So upon the Icebound Terrace, we'll just do $7 to reroll a die.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that sounds okay.
All right, so
Like normal lucky.
okay, so we'll do a Mulligan's Island. Or a normal lucky affects anybody's rolls. Or do we want to just be your own roll? Let's just do your own roll.
Yeah, do your own.
Okay. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. And then, let's see, that's tomorrow night. So before that, we have Red Hand of Doom.
You're the one who knows what's going to happen.
Okay, without too many spoilers, they're going to a Red Hand base. The Red Hand is, of course, a army of Hobgoblin super soldiers. And there are several very tough bad guys to fight there. And a very dangerous area on a very big, beautiful, heroic maps to fight. And it's going to be like an archer rampage, I'm thinking. Ideally, as written, it's supposed to be a stealth mission. But with this party, particularly with a certain person named Thanlin, I feel like stealth is never an actual option. Even though 2 people on the team know Pass Without Trace, and 3.5 people on the team are Team Nature, I just don't feel like they're going to want to stealth it, especially if they can just spend money to be super strong. So it's an isolated incident in this world. So instead of being a very difficult Metal Gear Solid arc of the adventure, it's going to be more of a we can't lose as long as we have the power of donations on our side. It requires very little effort on my part to make it more difficult because, one, I run Red Hand of Doom stupidly hard and unfair to begin with, and then 2, they like that particular part of the adventure is very hard. Just because of the environment and the amount of stuff going on. So like I don't mind doing all of the basic stuff here of instant inspiration, cutting words, Mulligan's Island, and do-over. I think all that is great for Red Hand.
Yeah. Okay.
And I really like the suggestions here for next monster attack is a critical hit, sad backstory for monster. All those are like gold, so I don't mind adding those either.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, there we go. So I'll just go ahead and copy pasta that. What I was worried about is the proliferation of magical items that might be impactful outside of this one session. But as long as any and all of the buffs that are happening just take place in this one, should be fine.
Yeah, so I guess, I don't know if you're doing any gacha stuff for Red Hand.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do any gashapons for Red Hand. In so much as if I did, it would all have to be stuff that expires at the end of the session.
Maybe it could be a gacha consumables.
Okay, like a gacha expiration date type thing. Like it's only good for this session.
Yeah, if they're going inside of a red hand fortress,
Yeah.
maybe it's stuff that only works inside the red hand fortress.
Maybe this is a pretty
Like,
Fae. This is a pretty Fae centric campaign.
yeah, so I mean that
So
sounds very Fae to me.
yeah. Oh, and you know what? They are starting the session talking to a powerful witch. So maybe the witch, like, literally can brew them up some items to help them, but they only, like Fairy Godmother turns back into a pumpkin at a certain point. Like, maybe all of the gear turns into pumpkins once that session is over.
That could be a good thing, yeah.
Okay. So, what would the price be to open it? Normally, Ancient Magics is $7, but you get to enjoy it for 25 hours. This is only going to be a 4 or 5 hour game, so maybe we'll just make it $5, like Conti's doing.
Yeah, $5 sounds good.
All right.
For a single session of being overpowered.
And maybe to save time, I'll just hit up. I want to see if Abyssal Brews has all their stuff already done up on Foundry, because I would just.
You could also grab some of the old stuff that wasn't used for Smash Brothers.
Smart. That's a good idea. All right. Because I know Abyssal Brews, and maybe Loot Tavern, they have like in the store, in the Forge store, Bazaar, you can buy like compendiums that already have the magical items built and set up, and then you can just throw them onto a table. So that might be kind of cool too. They're not as customized, but a lot of them are pretty powerful and unbalanced, so it might be kind of cool. If it's a witch doling out the magic stuff, make them turn into candy or sweets. Oh, dang. You know what we could do, David? We could go back in time to pumpkin spice. Do you remember pumpkin spice? Oh, yeah. Man. Hold on. Pumpkin spice. Let's see. Pumpkin spice loots. Here we go. Oh, man. Taking me way back. So the Batwing Eye Patch, the Chocolates of Deepest Dark, the Shrunken Head, the Skull Lantern, Bloodstained Tankard. Some of these are not. I don't know if these are worth $5 though. Honestly. Let's see.
Sometimes you just get crap.
All right, I'll throw all of Pumpkin Spice's bullshit merchandise into the table as well. So that sounds good. All right, sweet. Yeah, pumpkin spice. Good times. All right.
Or if they're like that bad, and like even if they did keep them for the rest of the campaign, maybe the cool stuff that they get at the end of the day, at the session's over, it turns into this.
Oh, there you go. All right. Let's see. You get a hold of some insanely powerful items, but once the meta clock strikes 2 p.m. EDT, it all turns into pumpkin spice merchandise. Perfection. All right. The meta clock. There we go. All right. I dig it. Oh, the music changed on us. There we go. All right. How much for Steve Harvey in D&D? I don't know where Steve Harvey would be. $20 for 30 minutes of Steve Harvey DM. Wow. Oh, man.
DMs this time?
Well, Steve Harvey, if you follow all the games, Steve Harvey is no longer with us. He had things did not go well for him in Mythic. Yeah. But, I mean, there's multiple timelines, so maybe we just grab a different Steve Harvey. So, I don't know. I want the Steve Harvey that is a judge. Has anybody seen Judge Steve Harvey yet? I want to binge that shit. Judge Steve Harvey looks amazing. It's like Judge Judy, but it's just Steve Harvey pretending to be Judge Judy. Oh, don't you roll your eyes. You know that's prime television right there. That's the good stuff. Let's see. Poor pumpkin spice. Saved in the last 30 minutes of the game. How much is that? All right. So I think that handles Red Hand of Doom. Do we need anything else for Red Hand of Doom?
No, I mean, I think that's what I think it's good for a campaign that's actually going to continue after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Sweet. So we're just gonna, for the rest of the campaign, people are gonna be drinking pumpkin spice lattes and what are some of the other dumb shit that she had? Wearing Uggs. The Uggs do give you a +1 to your charisma permanently. That's no joke. Well, that's a pretty good item. Man. Bone teeth of blood sucking. All right, man. These actually aren't that bad. I don't think they're $5 good, but you know, maybe I wouldn't mind $5 to get a +1 to my charisma. I'd pay for that. Not on any. Yeah.
If they're lucky enough for it to roll it for the item to roll into that.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I guess so.
Fair enough.
The dice called for it.
All right, so we have Red Hand of Doom and Upon the Icebound Terrace, Mischief Managed, I guess. Look at how I strategically avoided the topic of guest DMs. Really good job on my part. Pat on the back for that. All right. So let's see. On Sunday, what's happening on Sunday? Sunday is Divinity.
Divinity and Cobalt.
Right. All right. So here's the thing I was discussing with my kid, who has been my creative springboard for this Divinity Heart of the Eternals adventure. I'm excited about the mechanics that I've made, and I kind of want to see if they work. So I don't actually want to have the dice rolls impacted because I kind of want to see if the numbers, right, the 4E to 5E mashup, I want to see if those numbers are actually legit. So I don't actually want them to be able to cheese the numbers on that one, which seems like a missed opportunity. But I also just, again, I want to run it. I want it to run I want it to be a serious game. I want to actually run it successfully. That being said, I certainly don't mind a fail-safe if they die, a means to kind of bring themselves back to life. Can we pay to have a slasher like Michael Myers appear in any of the adventures? Wait. Is there a pricing on swearing? Ooh, swearing would definitely help. All right. We could do an opt-in swear jar. All right. Let me put it at the top here. Opt-in swear jar. An extra life without cussing? That's like Christmas without presents. All right. Okay, so anyone who has been flagged swear jar.
You have to give him a cup status.
Yeah. Must donate. Is it $1 or $2? This is Extra Life weekend. What are we thinking? $1 or $2?
Make it $1 so that they don't think about it the most and they keep.
Okay, must donate $1 USD per swear word. The list is too vile to share, but for more info, check Discord. Because apparently, according to many people, tits is not a cuss word anymore. I was very surprised. Yeah. I was so confused when you guys said the tits wasn't a swear word that I went to work the next day and I asked both baby boomers and whatever the next one is, Xennials, Gen Zs, I don't know what they are, the younger people. And I was like, is tits a bad word? And they're like, no, why would it be a bad word? And I was like, you don't just go around saying tits all the time. And they're like, well, it's not appropriate, but it's not a bad word. And I was like, when did this happen? When did there become a delineation between vulgarity and cursing? I don't know. Maybe I grew up in a stricter world. I don't know. Anyways, so this is going to be opt-in only. I will opt in. Does it start now? Oh man. All right. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start right now. We're gonna do the swear jar. Is there anybody in chat that's with me? Anybody in chat want to take this challenge? The swear jar challenge. No cussing. All weekend. Oh. Can I just mute my mic and get a couple out of my system real quick? Hold on. All right, I feel better now. All right, we could probably do this. Okay. Whoo! All right. Oh yeah, oh, you never cuss though. I've never in the 2 years I've known you, 2+ years, I've never heard you utter a cuss word. You've come close. I think you came close once or twice. I don't know.
I did once in rhyme. What's her name? What'd you call it? Magic Grandma Curse.
Oh yeah. Well, you know the nonsense that she was putting up with, I would have made anybody curse. I think so. So. It was seriously the meta goal of Hellebore to get Dom to cuss during Rime of the Frost Maiden, but it just never happened. Just never happened. Just too powerful. All right, so let's see. So Lex, I wasn't swearing the whole time beforehand because of this. Okay. All right, so anybody that wants to opt into this, I guess call yourselves out on the Discord, and we'll make sure that you get. We'll change. That's an idea. Add swear jar to your name on the Discord, and then we'll know that you're under the swear jar rules for the whole weekend, and then we can bill everybody for their cussing at the end of the weekend. I am the real reason I'm playing Peanut for the Kobold Press game is because he's the only character I have that's wholesome. I mean, he did bake a man into a pie, but he did it in a wholesome way. He's like a wholesome guy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't cuss. He's asexual. He only cares about food, but he's also vegan, so he's just like lawful good about food. Just a real stand-up guy. I feel like this is my best strat to get through the Kobold Press game while seeming to be relatively professional and non-problematic. So the other end of the spectrum was I was going to play Diodario. So yeah. All right. So with Divinity, I for sure want them to be able to buy Resurrection Scrolls, and these are very strong. Not only do you come back to life per resurrection, but you don't need any remains, just like Resurrection, and you get to be anywhere on the map when you come back. So they're like pretty good. I was going to set the price on this kind of high. You know what I'm saying? Because ideally you don't die in this game. But if you do, and it's Divinity, so there's going to be like some cheese deaths. You know what I'm saying? Like this monster used this on you, and then it used this on you, and then it blew you up, and you died. Welcome to Divinity. Oh, there's lava. They definitely teleport you into the lava. Oh, you died. When my kid got teleported into lava by an NPC, they almost threw the TV out the window. They're usually pretty even tempered, but they were mad when they got teleported into lava, because we didn't teleport the computer into lava. But from that point on, we were cheesing yeah. We were cheesing everything. After that, it was like it had drawn a line in the sand. The AI for the game had drawn a line in the sand. I feel like in Divinity you need water balloons. There you go. So we'll have a consumable gashas. That could work.
You said you were gonna have a merchant following them, right?
Yeah. So they could have a consumable gashapons, and that will have things like healing potions, resistance potions,
water balloons to get rid of
water balloons,
get rid of burning.
Oil flasks,
source
vials. Yeah. All right. Nice. Okay, so
there's grenades in Divinity, so.
Oh yeah. Grenades. Now, one of the characters is an archer, and they start with magical arrows. But I guess we could add magical arrows too. But I feel like not everybody's going to be wanting to use a bow, so we might leave the arrows out of the consumable gashapons. So, what is a mostly fair price to charge to come back to life. Keeping in mind that every player is already starting with like $25 to spend on donation stuff.
15?
15? Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Then they are guaranteed one resurrection, but that's about it. Let's see. Oh, Red had a good suggestion for this. It was anybody, audience or whatever, can spawn a terrain tile. So you could like spawn whatever terrain tile you want. But I feel like that's kind of covered by the Gashpons, giving you the items. But he was talking about like having direct influence on the field. Like you actually cause something to appear on the field, like an ooze barrel or an oil barrel or an ice patch or something like that.
I guess what it could be is you spend money and then a random. Do you pick?
Well,
Or is it like a?
that's
Like
the thing. It could be,
table?
yeah, it could be like Gashapon battlefield element or something.
Yeah, like you roll on a roll table. It tells you what type of terrain is there, and then you like do grenade rolls to find out where it lands.
Okay, that works. All right, so we will
Make it a little
put.
cheaper, and that way people could just
Okay.
litter the battlefield with a.
Oh my God. So what, like $3 to litter the field, or is that, and then $5 for consumable?
Yeah, I guess five. I think $5. No. How big is the is like a
It's a every terrain is 10 feet by 10 feet.
$3.
Okay. All right. Random terrain generation. All right. Let's see.
Okay, using my wrist as a pillow right now.
Amazing. I just see its little arm like poking up. Yeah. You cause a random patch of terrain to appear on the battlefield. All right, that seems pretty good. And it's already like pretty beefy as far as like the amount of encounters and stuff like that for a 5-hour game. There's 5 encounters in a 5-hour game, so like I definitely don't want anything that would make the monsters stronger or make the fights last longer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. we gave that to Will, but.
Oh yeah, we did kind of give that to Will, but Will's got 7 hours. That seems like.
But it's a Will one shot.
Wow. You're just calling him out, huh? Oh. Oh man.
That's the reason why he put 7 hours.
Okay. Oof. Let's see. Resurrection scrolls, random terrain generation, consumables. It's not silly. It's for the kids. What else can you do in Divinity that would... You could buy money, but it wouldn't like super mess up like quote unquote balance I'm going for with the game.
Do you want to spend money to recharge?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, I couldn't remember. Okay. So source. Okay. You recharge the encounter ability of one. The encounter or recharge ability of one character or creature. There we go. And then we should put Divine Source, and that'll be their daily ability. Which I guess at that point, if you have access to your unlimited access to your dailies and encounters, all balance is out the window anyways. So maybe we should allow dice roll modifications. I don't know. I guess
I mean, if you want to keep it more, what do you call it, balanced and proper, then we could not do that. But because I know you want to actually test out this.
I could just run it again after ExtraLife to test the actual mechanics. We could just all have fun with it this time. Okay. So, all right, that's fair. So we'll go ahead and we'll add instant inspiration and cutting words to it. There we go. All right, so we'll grab these guys, throw them down here. Okay, and then we got random terrain generation. You cause a random patch of terrain appear on the battlefield. Consumable gashapons, and let's grab this actual reroll. All right, and then we got source. You recharge the encounter or recharge ability of one creature, and you recharge the daily ability of one character or creature. All right, so how much to recharge an encounter ability? $3?
An encounter ability. I mean, how many encounters do you?
Well, there's five encounters, so they'll get to use the abilities 5 times. All of them are roughly as strong as a fireball, to give you an idea of what an encounter ability is. They're only about as strong as a fireball.
I would say 5 then.
Okay. And then what about getting their daily back? The dailies are on par with, I want to say they're on par with about a 7th level spell.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Well, no. They're on par with about a 5th level spell. If the encounter abilities are on par with a 3rd level spell, then the dailies are on par with a 7th. Sorry. 7th level character. 4th level spell. Fourth or 5th level spell.
4th or 5th level spell.
Maybe $7?
5 and 7. No, if we're gonna do 7 for that, then I would go back to 3 for daily. But if we're gonna do 5, I think 5 and 10.
I feel like 10's a lot to get your daily back. But there is, I mean, to give you an idea, some of the dailies are like mini meteor swarm. Like I'm talking like 10d6 damage in a huge area kind of thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like okay.
$10.
All right. So do $10 for divine source, $5 for source. And I mean, if people pay for the monsters to get their dailies back, them's going to be some hard fights because them boss dailies ain't no joke. All right. Giant heavy chest comes out of nowhere and KOs the mobs. Why don't we add that to random terrain generation?
Yeah.
All right.
100.
So let's see. I'll put a little note here. Gasha ideas for divinity, and we'll put chest full of boots. There we go. Cool. All right. Yeah, apparently that's like a big strat, is just teleporting heavy chests on top of people. Yeah. Because I was looking at like playing through on Iron Man Hearthstone. Do you think? All right, Red's at work. I don't think they're here to defend themselves. Do you think when Red played the entire game on Iron Man, which they've done, they beat the whole game on Iron Man, do you think they dropped heavy chests on people?
I mean,
it kind of feels like a whatever it takes. But I also feel like Red has so much integrity. I don't know if they could. I don't know. I'm very curious. I want to just know how that playthrough went. They said it took like over 200 hours. So I'm like very curious. Like, how did that go? I would never want to do that myself. But like, man, I'd love to hear about it. The
only Iron Man mode game I've ever played is XCOM.
Let's see. What else do we got here? I mean, I've played Minecraft. That's pretty Iron Man. So, just saying.
Just heavy boots.
Oh, we don't have to do the gashapon thing now. I'm just like throwing that boots idea down because it's a good idea. But obviously, barrel of oil, barrel of ooze,
water,
yeah,
barrel poison, barrel of every barrel.
Okay.
What you call it? Let me see here.
Well, I have 10 patches already, so I'll do patches 1 through 10 as well. What other thing could maybe a cow? That'd be kind of cool.
Just a cow shows up.
Yeah. Cow shows up.
That seems about as divinity as you could get.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Divinity 1 a lot. I felt like it's a much more, it's a funnier game. Like, yeah. Oh, how about Rat with pro tips?
Yeah, just an animal, a random animal shows up with a tip.
Okay.
If you can speak with animals.
Cow who can be convinced to give milk. There we go. All right. Oh, you know what? A moral quandary. That should definitely drop. What a Divinity 2 thing to do is you spawned a moral quandary. Everyone has to roll off on it, and whoever gets the lowest number has to answer the moral quandary. That seems pretty good. It seems like it would waste a lot of time, though. That's fine. All right, I'll get rid of moral quandary for now.
It could be when an animal spawns, it gives you a moral quandary.
Oh, fair enough.
You can absorb this animal for source, or you can I don't know, something else happens. You know?
All right, so chicken with a moral quandary attached. All right, fair enough. Beautiful. Random thing in the environment explodes. I think it's more enticing, Cadenex, if they have to keep spawning things randomly, and then they're hoping that they spawn a combination of things that triggers a series of explosions. But don't worry, in the Divinity game, it is definitely set up to cause random explosions. It is very, very, very much. Yeah. All right, so don't worry, David. The chicken is going to show up with moral quandaries. So that gives us a total of the 10 patches plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other things. I guess we could like lean the table, or it's a computer, so we could just roll 17 things, and that's probably good enough. So, all right, great. So let's move on to the last one of the weekend as we go ahead and finish this up, and it is Kobold Story. All right, so this is the most traditional ExtraLife game that we're running. There are no consequences. It's deliberately unfair. Everything is crazy. So I feel like right off the bat, we should go grab all of the normal buffs, right? So, yeah. So we'll grab all these. Throw it down.
They're gonna need them. They're gonna need all the buffs they can get to get through this. So.
Yeah. I like all the audience things that we did for Will. So we'll grab that.
Oh man, promoting the monsters in here.
All right. But what about, we got promotion and demotion. But we should also for kobolds, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So within this, there's going to be two additional ranks of kobolds. Everybody gets a basic bitch kobold to start, and then I like that, David. A player randomly explodes. So why don't we do audience can donate to detonate a kobold. A random kobold explodes, creating a fireball centered on themselves.
You wipe out the whole team with that. Hey, but he might take out a monster into the next group that comes in. That monster's hurt.
We'll do half piercing, half fire.
Okay.
Because shrapnel from its body.
Yeah.
All right. All right. How much is that, David? How much to murder an innocent kobold in cold blood and possibly kill the other kobold standing next to it? How much?
But also kill the enemy that they're fighting.
I mean, maybe it could be worth it. You blow up enough kobolds, you'll kill anything. Oh, I got it. The leader of the kobold tribe, she's an alchemist, right? And so she has them drink from the blessed waters of Dracone divinity, and it's just not liquid nitrogen. It's nitroglycerin.
goodness.
$25 to blow up a kobold. That's a little rich. That's a little rich, but all right. We'll think about it. I mean, it does instantly kill possibly a lot of kobolds. All right.
But I mean, yeah, if we made it too cheap, then they probably, since they have infinite respawns, they'll just run through blowing each other up.
Well, only the audience can blow up kobolds. They can't blow themselves up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Detonate a kobold. A random kobold explodes, creating a fireball. Should we do a random kobold for $25, or should the audience get to pick which kobold they blow up?
If it's random, I think it should be cheaper.
Yeah, so choose a kobold. It dies and explodes, creating a fireball centered on themselves. All right. That seems pretty good. We'll do a 10.
David said 20 instead of 25.
20? Okay, 20 seems pretty good. Bloop. All right. And we'll do... it'll be a mix and match. We'll do 5d6 fire, 5d6 piercing. I feel like anytime they're making progress, some asshole's just going to blow them up.
Yeah.
That asshole is me on a secondary account, but still. Oh no, I said cuss words. Shh, keep it down, keep it down. All right. All right. I wanted them to be able to promote their kobolds, but I feel like only the audience should be able to promote the kobolds. What do you think?
Kobold is doing really good, and the audience is like, you know what, that kobold, I want him to survive. Here's his promotion.
Okay, so what if we get rid of the promotion demotion thing for the monsters, and then we add it for the kobolds instead? We just do promoted, and
I'm pretty sure kobolds rank.
Yeah, this choose a kobold.
Well, I guess we want to do a random, like have a random version and then selected version.
Ranks up. BB to elite, elite to paragon. We could do a random version.
Like it's like, I don't know, $10 to promote a kobold that you specifically want, $5, like $7 for random, something.
Given the short lifespan of even the strongest kobolds, I could definitely see the promotions not costing a lot for the audience.
Like 5-7.
How I was going to do it in the game is there's roughly 30 rooms in the dungeon, and every time a room is cleared, it spawns like an orb like that can be grabbed to promote yourself.
I mean, that can still happen.
Yeah. But this
the,
like cheats. This cheats the system. Yeah. Okay. So random promotion, and then we'll put nepotism.
Yeah.
So this is choose a kobold. It ranks up. All right. A random kobold.
Now, if a player, has a person who's watching them and wants to use money, and maybe that money gets back to the, maybe there's a flow there that we don't see. I mean, hey, children get donated to.
So how much to rank up a kobold that might instantly die? 5 or 7?
I think 5 for random, 7 for nepotism.
Okay.
Or do you think less? Maybe 3 and.
Oh, I definitely don't think less. I definitely don't think less. Yeah. We're trying to kill as many kobolds as possible here. Yeah. David, we put Swobold in the elite class. So when you rank up, you don't actually get to choose what you rank up into. Your current character, you just move all of your equipment over to this new character that you're given, and it's like one of the actual classed kobolds, and then the Paragon kobolds are like anywhere between level 1 to level 5 actual Dungeons and Dragons characters that people have submitted. Yeah. All right. That seems pretty good. Nepotism, choose a kobold, it ranks up. Promotion of random kobold ranks up. Beautiful. Should we say something like with the random one, if it is max rank, it gains inspiration?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Or do we re-roll if it's already maxed out? I think we'll just go with
Nah.
that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
max rank
because
kobold.
we want to because there's a limit. There's like a limited number of Paragon
Mhm.
kobolds, so we don't want to rush through them too fast.
Yeah, I mean, we will have to use Lex's idea and just head over to the D&D Beyond, just randomly start pumping out kobolds. Honestly, the easiest thing anyone could do is you go to D&D Beyond, you take every character you've ever made, you duplicate them, you go into the editing, and you just switch race to kobold, and you're done. You just made a kobold hero.
You make sure
Is
you
that
just
is that
reduce your level
simple?
down, reduce your
Yeah,
level down to 5 or
yeah.
whatever you want.
Well, think about how many people just have a stable of like 40 or 50 like characters that they've made that they've never gotten to play. This is your chance to have that character appear in the game. Yeah. $20 to control another kobold, max 3? Like
You come in
what?
with a kobold and you have a pet class. You're like a captain with other kobolds.
That's actually not too bad. Um let's
You know
see.
what? That should be a Paragon kobold is a captain, a kobold captain.
Oh, and he just comes with an assistant who can never rank up.
Yeah, he just has a kobold. He has a kobold cohort.
Hmm. I have that as Drake Warden. The Drake Warden has a pet, Drake, that they can control and stuff. Mm. So you have multiple kobolds. I like that idea, but there's already like 6 players, and I feel like 6 players is already a lot of players to then introduce everyone having the ability to have more kobolds. Yeah, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm not digging that one too much. If it was only 4 players, I could see letting them all like have the option of getting more kobolds at once, but I feel like that's just too many kobolds at once. Also, like, I mean
That sounds like a promoted kobold that has
yeah.
a pet.
It also sounds like something that would work as a video game idea, but wouldn't work as a D&D idea. I think frequently that design space is like hard to make that decision, right? Like you think this is a really cool idea, and then you go to like do it in game, and it's like, this would have worked a lot better as a video game. I think that happens a lot. For example, like crafting systems. Crafting systems work great in a video game. They're a lot harder to do in a tabletop game. The idea that in a video game I could keep spawning more and more kobolds. Now, what we could do is the extra kobolds don't do anything exactly, but because we have the follow mod, you can have kobolds follow you around, and then they can like human shield for you. So they don't in any way impact action economy, but they almost work like a mirror image. So like every time you're attacked, you roll a die, and if it's odd, it hits you. If it's even, it hits one of your kobolds that's following your actual kobold around. So you're basically just like constantly surrounding yourself with more kobolds to kind of take hits for you. The problem is just like mirror image, it breaks down when you're afflicted with what is it, area of effect damage and stuff. But that's not a bad idea to have like yeah.
It could also like I guess how are you doing this when a kobold dies?
Mm-hmm.
Does the new kobold spawn at the entrance?
It spawns at the entrance of the current room as long as the previous room has been cleared.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to clear a path through the dungeons so that reinforcement kobolds can make it through. Is the stipulation.
If they don't, do they stop? Do they pop up at the?
Yeah, they have to they have to fight their way or sneak their way to the party. So if the party decided to like skip a room by like sneaking through it, they didn't clear that room. So then new kobolds would have to start at the last cleared room and make their way to join the party. And we will not be allowing the catch-up mechanic for that because the idea is that you're supposed to be clearing the dungeon as you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, if that's the case, one of the things here could be having a extra kobold follow you around. They don't do anything, but when you die, you could just take over that next kobold, and he's still in the room.
True. I don't know. I'm so worried about like bjorking the action economy on this one. Because again, we got the 6 players. So,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
mean
but
they don't
having the backup is good. But
they
then
don't do anything. You're
that
just
sort
paying
of
for.
discourages them from like clearing rooms though, which
It's true.
yeah,
This is really expensive.
that's true. But like I don't know if it's I mean, here's the problem with charging a lot for things in this adventure. You charge a lot for things and then somebody just pays to blow up your kobold. Or you pay a lot and then you get your kobold exactly where you want it and then some bullshit instant death trap happens. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't want too many sore feels about like things that they spend. I want every time they spend money, I want it to be something that was like in the moment it seemed like a good idea, but it's not like something that they were like I invested in this and then it got taken away from me. I guess and that's part of why these promotions are good, but they're also not for players. I feel like the players just kind of need to focus on this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think a way to cheat death would be pretty good. So
And
what?
the audience pay for one kobold to have a fate point.
Okay. I like where this is going. What if the characters themselves, or anybody on the main menu, what if you could have that kobold follow you around? The kobold doesn't actually do anything, but when you would die, that kobold dies instead.
I mean, it's like a fate point.
Yeah, so it still counts as a character death, but you're basically padding your character's longevity by killing other kobolds. How much would we charge to cheat death with a kobold? That's the question.
10?
10? That sounds pretty good. All
10
right.
for a kobold fate point.
So we'll put fated minion. All right. A minion follows you around, ready to lay down their life for the cause. If your kobold would die, the attached minion dies instead. And then for lulls, there's no limit to how many minions can follow your kobold around. So like when Conti had all them orcs following him around in Witchlight, we could do that. No limit.
No, the problem here is that if your kobold if you have a random kobold explosion, does it hit all the minions?
No, the minions are not affected by anything until combat starts.
Yeah, they're hanging out in the room behind, in the last room.
If your kobold would die, the attached minion dies instead. No limit on number of minions you can attach to a kobold. Minions cannot be targeted by spells, attacks, spells, and effects. Attacks, spells, and effects. All right, that seems pretty good. If your kobold dies, the attached minion dies instead. No limit on the number of minions you can attach to a kobold. Minions cannot be targeted by attacks, spells, and effects. And it still counts towards killing kobolds. So it's still like on brand for the adventure. It works out great.
Okay. Question.
Mm-hmm.
If say my kobold steps on a trap and is gonna die from that trap, the idea is that their HP will go down to 1. And then your minion will die.
Yeah. That's true. We should clarify. Okay. So if your kobold dies, the attached minion dies instead. Your kobold survives with 1 HP. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good clarification there.
It's sort of in the stream. My camera's messed up.
Oh, my bad. Let's see. There was like a message I thought it might have to do with like ExtraLife. There we go. All right, so the minions would survive the blowing up of a player. Yes, because the minions are essentially a visual representation of your extra lives. So like the little Mario heads in like the top or bottom of the screen when you're playing Mario, like that's what they mean. Like you get to keep the same kobold just a little bit longer, essentially. I could see this being very appealing to one of the people that was playing it, because one year, this guy, Greg, he spent several $100s keeping his cat alive through the Caves of Chaos. He spent a lot of money keeping his non-combat, doesn't do anything at all to help a cat alive through the entire adventure. It was phenomenal. I could definitely see him being bound and determined to play the same kobold through the entire dungeon, regardless of the cost. So, what about the minion protects his master? The player throws himself on the trap. Yeah. I mean, that's the idea. Is that every time you would die, we describe one of your minions running forward and dying instead, like to save you. So yeah,
like Warhammer, you have little skinks.
It's beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll make a minion actor, and we'll make it a tiny size kobold, so it's even cuter and smaller.
Biggest eyes.
We got to get the. Well, why don't we get the one that we use as our kobold emoji to be the minion?
Yeah.
It doesn't totally match the art style that we're using for Trash Mob minis, but it's still pretty darn cute. So, all right, sweet. So I think that's it. I don't know what Lex is doing for their puzzle dungeon, as far as what their cheat codes are going to be. Let me see if they had anything listed about cheat codes. Notes about the maze, sign up for the event. This is the link, by the way, if anybody wants to check this out and sign up. I believe there is still a spot in this game. Man, you know what I would do if I was in Lex's game? I would straight up say, listen, man, how much I got to pay to solve this puzzle? And I would just pay my way through every puzzle. Here's how bad I am at puzzles, okay? So at work, there's like the place I work, it's like a technical school. Like we ran an office space at central office, and I work at this technical school. And there's also like a convention center wing as part of this technical school. And I went down there one day to get something, and then I couldn't get the door to open to leave. Like the door let me in, but it wouldn't let me leave. And I'm trying to open the door. The door's locked. I can't escape, right? And I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? They got the door locked because they got kids there for a seminar or whatever, but they don't want the kids to have free access to the building. So they're like locked into the convention part of the building. And I decide I know how to solve this problem. I went down the hall, through the kitchens, and then around through like back access hallways to get back to my part of the building. So a few days later, same thing happens, and my coworker's like, you just use your badge. And then they used their badge, and it went boop, and it like opened the door, and then they walked through the door. And I thought about that my solution involved sneaking through industrial kitchens and access hallways when I was wearing the badge that would have opened the door. That's how bad I am at puzzles. That's how bad I am at puzzles. Oh well.
Hey, sometimes you just think too hard.
Yeah, it's a big problem for me at all of those things. Or I just don't think at all. All right. Should there be a donation to give the minion kobold a tragic backstory? Ooh. Yeah, let's add that in real quick. Let's see. Tragic. No, I think I put sad. So we got to change sad to be tragic. All right. All right. Boy, that's not how you spell tragic. There we go. We're going to say add a tragic backstory to a kobold minion.
Kobold or minion?
Yeah, kobold or minion. Got it. Beautiful. All right. Do we need to like harvest sad stories? Will we eventually run out of sad things to say? Probably not.
I mean, it doesn't have to be sad. It has to be tragic. So
it has to be tragic. Okay.
Tragic can also be funny.
Beautiful. All right. Cool. I think we're good, and we're cruising towards 2 hours. We were going to do like a double length one. We have all the donations settled, so what I'll need to do is take a quick break from streaming to update all the Extra Life pages, not just with this stuff, but also with any additional prizes that came in, because there are going to be prizes available to everybody who donates. Every dollar that is donated, as long as you didn't do it anonymously, you'll be entered in a raffle to win prizes, including a $100 gift certificate for Heroic Maps. They got over 1,000 maps that you could choose from, and you can build your own bundle that adds up to $100, which is pretty cool. And I think there's going to be some software codes, and there's going to be some adventures, and some map bundles, and some art commission slots are going to be available. I believe there's some artisanal dice, and there is some fine marijuana products. We got it all this year. So, yeah, I'll get all that updated, as well as getting the menus posted up. The question then is, what are you going to do for the next hour, Dom? And, like, what are we going to do between noon and 3 o'clock when we play Jackbox with Red? We got to figure out what we're going to do. If we take an hour break right now for an early lunch, get the Extra Life page updated, but what are we doing from 12 to 3?
I know I was going... while we were doing this, I was going through the Cobalt thing and updating traps and...
Oh, okay. Do we want to just do like a tag team prep stream of yeah, okay. That sounds good. All right.
Stuff out of the way.
And then we will meet back here at 12, and we will do a tag team prep stream of Tomb of Decimation and Cobalt Story and get all that knocked out, including building the rollable tables that have like actual actors on them to spawn out kobolds to play as and all that good stuff.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Then I will see you at noon. Everybody that was hanging out in chat, we're going to be back at noon. From noon to 3, we're going to be building some kobolds and some Death Trap Dungeon. Then at 3 o'clock, we're going to be playing some Jackbox with Red. And then from 7 until 2 a.m., we're going to be playing either Spooky Space Adventure or 5th edition Worlds of Warcraft D&D. So a lot of cool stuff going on today. Please show up, donate, help the monsters, help the heroes, make the game more interesting. Will would really appreciate it if you went in and donated to make all his monsters hecka strong, murder all of his player characters as quickly as possible, so that he can finally have a one-shot that ends in a decent amount of time. So there you go. All right, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. We'll be back at noon.